Imagine taking a deep breath, slipping into the turquoise waters of Sulawesi, and just staying there. No heavy tanks, no regulator noise, just you, the reef, and minutes of perfect underwater silence.
It sounds like a dream, or maybe a superhero movie, but for the Bajau people of Indonesia, it's just Tuesday morning. They aren't just visiting the ocean, they are part of it.
Hello, and welcome to IndoDiveX, a podcast about diving, ocean stories, and the incredible underwater world of Indonesia. I'm Kai.
And I'm Mia. In this podcast, we explore marine life, diving adventures, and the magic of the Coral Triangle.
Today, we are heading to the heart of the Celebes and Banda Seas to talk about the legendary sea nomads, the Bajau tribe.
I've always been fascinated by them, Kai. They're often called sea gypsies, and they've spent centuries living almost entirely on the water, scattered across maritime Southeast Asia.
Exactly. Their name literally means man of the seas. In regions like the Wakatobi National Park in the Togian Islands in Sulawesi, you can find villages that aren't just near the water, they are on it, built on stilts over the coral shallows or floating on houseboats.
It's such a cinematic image. Can you imagine growing up on a boat where the ocean is your playground, your classroom, and your grocery store all at once?
It really is another world. Traditionally, the Bajau lived on handcrafted wooden boats called lepa-lepa. Entire families would spend weeks or even their whole lives at sea, a practice they call ponca.
And they aren't just floating around, they are master divers. I was reading a story about an elder named Rohani in the Togian Islands. He started diving at 8 years old, competing with friends to see who could stay down the longest. He said they'd just go down, 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 very slowly and carefully.
That slow and careful approach is key because they dive to depths that would make most recreational scuba divers sweat. We're talking 20 to 30 meters routinely, and some individuals can reach 70 meters.
Without tanks.
Exactly. Just wooden goggles, maybe a handmade spear gun, and their own lungs.
It makes you wonder how they do it. I mean, after 30 seconds underwater, I'm already looking for the surface. But for the Bajau, some can stay down for 5 minutes. And there are even reports of dives lasting up to 13 minutes on a single breath.
Well, this is where the science gets really cool. It turns out the Bajau have actually evolved for this lifestyle.
You mean they have literal underwater superpowers?
Pretty much. A major study found that the Bajau have spleens that are about 50% larger than neighboring land-dwelling groups.
Why does the spleen matter so much for diving?
Think of this spleen as a biological scuba tank. When you hold your breath and dive into cold water, your body triggers the mammalian diving reflex. The spleen contracts and injects a boost of oxygenated red blood cells into your circulation.
So a bigger spleen means a bigger reservoir of oxygen.
Spot on. Scientists even link this to a specific gene variant called PDE10A. It's a rare example of human biology evolving in response to a specific lifestyle.
That is incredible. They are literally built for the ocean. But it's not just their bodies, it's their wisdom. They navigate vast distances without GPS by reading the stars, wave patterns, and even the flight paths of birds.
And their respect for the sea is deeply spiritual. They believe the ocean is home to spirits like Mbak Medilau that must be honored. They have these traditional rules called pamali, or taboos, which actually act as a conservation system.
Right, like only hunting mature fish and observing rest periods for reefs to recover. They see the sea as a brother that should not be damaged. In their language, the word for nature doesn't even exist because they don't see themselves as separate from it.
It's a beautiful philosophy, but it's also a fragile one. Today, the Bajau face massive challenges. Many are stateless, meaning they don't have official citizenship papers, which makes it hard to get healthcare or education.
And climate change is hitting them hard. Rising sea levels and coral bleaching are like a death sentence for a culture that depends entirely on a healthy reef. When the reefs die, the fish leave, and their whole way of life is threatened.
It makes me realize that we have so much to learn from them. The Bajau remind us that humans can live in harmony with the sea. They don't try to conquer the ocean, they flow with its rhythms.
Exactly. Their resilience isn't just about big spleens, it's about that deep relational wealth they call hartha, the ability to adapt and support each other. If we want to protect our oceans, maybe we need to start seeing ourselves as part of the water just like they do.
Well, that's our dive for today. If you ever find yourself in Sulawesi, maybe take a moment to look out at those stilt houses and remember the conquerors of the sea who call them home.
And remember, the ocean is a provider, a mentor, and a home. Let's treat it that way.
Thank you for listening to IndoDiveX.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow the podcast and share it with fellow ocean lovers.
Until the next dive, keep exploring and keep protecting our ocean.